What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about 3 stocks to add to your watch list for this upcoming week that could have a very strong likelihood of a squeeze. So I'm going to go over all that. Make sure you guys first hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So starting off, when it comes down to economic data, there's 2 things to really watch for this week, one of which is on Tuesday, retail sales. Forecast is supposed to be 0.4%, so of course that's a fairly good bump up. And when it comes down to the stocks I do have on my list, they kind of work coinciding with retail sales. So definitely a fairly positive thing there. And then on Wednesday, there is the Fed meeting minutes. So when it comes down to that, that usually causes a lot of volatility, both in a positive and negative light. But if there is a positive aspect to this meeting minutes behind closed doors, that could give the market a nice boost up. And shorts absolutely would hate that. And especially shorts generally don't like a lot of volatility in a negative for them, obviously. So if these meeting minutes are positive, then you never know. As far as company earnings, there isn't really anything that could benefit the stocks I do pick or just the broader market. But of course, some of the companies such as Target and Walmart will really signal what consumers are doing behind the scenes, so piggybacking off of the retail sales from Tuesday. But regardless, when it comes down to it, the 3 stocks I do and I did pick aren't really your conventional stocks. So the first stock I do have is BRC Inc., ticker is BRCC. Over the last 1 year, it is down 54.24%. Year to date, 29% in the red. And based on Friday, it is up 12.56%. And that is largely as a result of their Q2 earnings. But when it comes to it, on a side note, if you are looking for a lot of good compiled information, such as press releases, SEC filings, transcripts, everything under the sun, take a look at Seeking Alpha Premium. I do have a 14-day free trial for you guys. Link in the description below and also the comments. So take advantage of that. But when it comes down to why the stock was on this list, it's a couple of different things. One of which is the technical indicators behind the scenes and just the fundamentals related to shorts. So right here, you can see based on Friday, there was a short squeeze type 2 that was activated. And when it comes down to that, it usually results in a fairly good squeeze in among itself. So there's that aspect. But when it comes down to the data points, so short score is currently 89, utilization is 75.28%. So just so you guys are aware, short score that is comprised of several different things. That's kind of a breakdown of utilization, cost to borrow, and just the overall amount of shares being shorted. So that's kind of the breakdown of that. But the estimated short interest is 39.13%, and the percentage free float on loan is 41%. So it is fair to assume that there is a lot of naked shorting that is happening behind the scenes. But when it comes down to it, on Friday, 1.54 thousand shares was increased. So very, very small, because technically 9.34 million shares overall are being shorted. 37.43% of the free floats being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 11.32%, so fairly okay stuff. It is on the threshold list, so of course that is something to consider, that if a stock is on the threshold list for 13 consecutive days, in theory the SEC is supposed to go approach the market maker and get them to cover, but once again, usually isn't really followed, unfortunately. But still, no matter what, the fact that it is on the threshold list kind of does signal the fact that there's a lot of naked shorting that's happening behind the scenes. So once again, just be aware of that. So this is the first stock that is on this list. I've never really heard of this stock, unfortunately, but it's just because of the fundamentals behind the scenes is why it's on here. Moving on, stock number 2, Dutch Bros, ticker is BROS. So based on Friday, they did go up 2.9% year over the last 1 year, down 28%, and year to date 22.61%. Similar to the other company, it did have a technical indicator that was kind of triggered, and this is a short squeeze type 3. So of course the magnitude is fairly high in that regard. So once again, just be aware of that. It has gone up as well over the last little bit, roughly around the 27.50 range to around the 32 range. So once again, this stock does have a lot of volatility. And moving on from that, so as far as some of the data points, so short score is currently 88, utilization is 97.69%. The percentage free float on loan is 26.78%, so fairly high. And this stock doesn't necessarily have the most highest short interest. Right now it's 18.64%. But I think behind the scenes and the triggering of the technicals, this could obviously, as a result of that, go up. So 16.03% 2.4% is the cost to borrow average, and 7.57 million shares overall are being shorted. So once again, this is very much linked to consumers, so definitely could go up as a result of that. And then moving on to stock number 3, once again is another kind of no-name stock, but it's the fundamentals why it's on here. So ticker is DM, Desktop Metals. So based on Friday, it did go down 1.82% over the last 1 year, 48.73%, and based on year to date, 20% on the mark. But based on this, short score is currently 88, utilization is 79.97%, and looking right here, so shorts did technically increase 252,000 shares, 31.12% of the free float is being shorted, and 73.13 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost of borrow is fairly low on this, so 7.61%. But as far as this, there clearly is a lot of naked shorting similar to what I mentioned. So 33.59% of the free floats being shorted. So of course, I would love to throw in like stocks like AMC and things like that. But based on Friday after hours, they did go down quite a lot. And just a lot of other stocks don't really seem too appealing right now, based on the data points or any justification for it to go up. Of course, there's a lot of stocks like GNS that is floating around that recently announced that whole, I guess, spin-off that they are doing. So of course, that's fairly good. But as far as it squeezing any further, I'm not really sure that it can. So there's a lot of stocks out there that could have a nice bump up in the stock price. So let me know you guys' thoughts on these 3 stocks. I know, like I said, they're not probably the most favorable, but definitely they have a lot of good opportunity behind the scenes. So what stocks do you feel is going to squeeze this week, and potentially why? On a side note, MULN, which I have been really advertising quite a lot, is finally moving to Canada. So all you have to do, just sign up, link in the description below and also the comments, and just only sign up with your phone number. You don't need any additional information whatsoever. Then you can enter to win some pretty good gift cards. So might as well join while you can. But if you are an American, then you can take advantage of this promo right here. So sign up for a free account and also just throw $100 at it. You get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000 and you get a $50 cash reward. So this legitimately is one of the best deals that you can get. It is basically free money. Take advantage of that while you can. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's eventually make a lot of money on whatever floats your boat.